It's Verlen, V-E-R-L-N.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I have to ask you, why are you doing this?
It's a love, mostly of exploring a continent. There's a lot of other reasons, you know, like the challenges that we come up against, like the Pacific Ocean. That's been quite a challenge. It has given us some big, hard moments, but it's satisfying too. And then the Grand Canyon coming up, we're looking forward to that challenge. And but all in all, when we get back, we hope to have a feel of what North America is like today by canoe.
Now this is a 3-year adventure. I mean, don't you ever just get tired and just want to stop for a while?
No, not yet. We had this dream all planned out for about 5 years, and until it's accomplished, I doubt whether we'll ever feel it's over with. And as long as it's not over with, we're still eager to see it through.
And we're sitting here at Muir Beach, okay? You think about John Muir and all of his adventures through the mountain country. Do you feel sort of like a pioneer man in that way too?
Well, in as much that we're doing this by canoe, now the canoe we know was the vehicle that more or less unrolled the map of North America 200 years ago, but hasn't been used much since. And today I think we're kind of establishing that a canoe is still a legitimate vehicle for exploring a continent. And in a way we're kind of pioneering that movement, I hope, back to using the canoe and seeing a country. And it's great. It's a whole new world.
The most frightening thing that happened to you was?
Well, I sit here in the Pacific, back at Point Blanco, a notoriously windy spot. Got caught by some heavy winds one day, and it rolled me. And I came out of my canoe and I grabbed for it, and the wind caught it, and I couldn't get it. So I was in a bad spot. But fortunately, Steve, my partner, was close by, and he came back and rescued me and activated an emergency radio beacon that we were carrying. And after about an hour, the Coast Guard came, picked me up in a helicopter. That's as close as I want to get.
I understand you had hypothermia.
Yeah.
Were you pretty frightened then?
I don't know. Hypothermia isn't a very frightening thing because it comes on rather slowly. But looking at that shore that Steve was paddling so hard to get to, you know, and it seemed like I was never getting there, and we didn't know whether this radio beacon worked, but it does work, thank the Lord. And I think he might have made it, but I would have been in much worse shape.
Now, this is your son-in-law you're traveling with. What are your wives doing?
Well, they're taking it very well. It's tough. It's the toughest part of the entire thing is what they have to kind of put up with without husbands, you know, for about 3 years. Although we keep in touch. My wife is coming to see me at Los Angeles in about 3 weeks. So we do get to see him once in a while.
How are you supporting this and supporting your family?
Well, we saved for about 5 years and spent everything we had. Then some sponsors finally came in. It's like DuPont Company and Dow Chemical, Camplight Foods here in California. And now they're helping us with expenses. Now we're able to go on. Up until then, it didn't look like we were going to be able to finish it. But we were going to go as far as we could go and go broke, if necessary, doing it.
When this is all over, are you going to write a book about it? Or are you going to log it? Or what are you going to do?
Yes, we both are keeping very complete diaries. And I have taken over 10,000 slide pictures already to record what we're doing. And there have been some filming done that maybe some kind of a TV program or a special come out of it.
What's in your heart when you're doing this?
Well, it is a satisfaction of being able to realize a dream. This is a big dream. You know, it's changing my life. In fact, I am living a different life completely. I feel like a different person in that sense. And I feel very fortunate that I have the privilege of being able to do this kind of thing. Now, many people have dreams. Most of them never get to do them. And I appreciate the fact that I am getting to do mine, and I feel a responsibility to share that with others when I can. Encourage them a little.
Now, you're here right now. Now, what do you plan to do? Do you camp out as you come to a site like this?
Yes. In our canoes, we have everything we need. Food, maybe for 2 weeks at a time. We have our tents and cook gear and clothes, everything we need. That's our home. For 3 years, that's our home.
You mean you haven't stayed in a hotel or eaten at a nice restaurant?
Very rare. Now, if somebody invites us to a restaurant, we'll take it, but we don't go on our own. We don't have a pretty tight budget. So we get out our camp light food and we cook up meals wherever we are.
How's your health feel right now?
Real good. I couldn't feel better. There's been some minor aches and pains, but probably not as much as if I'd stayed home.
What did you do professionally?
I was a plumbing contractor. And I'm an ex-plumbing contractor now. I don't suppose I'll ever get back to it. I don't expect to ever really get back to the same life that I left. After 3 years, it isn't the same anymore.
Well, how is it not the same?
How's what?
How is your life not the same?
Well, in 3 years, everybody's life changes. And I don't expect that I can go back pick up where I left off. I can't walk in the door and say I'm back and where's supper? It'll be adjustment to whatever's going on in my life, in my family, and the world at the time.
Someone came up to you and said, well, I want to do it, or do you want people to keep going out there and canoeing?
I would encourage it. We have had people who have talked to us about this who have also like dreams. And I try to do what I can to encourage them to be sure that this is what they want to do. But if you don't really want to do it bad enough, I wouldn't say to do it. You know, it gets to be a long day sometimes. Sometimes you're out there, you know, all day long, and nothing but gray fog and waves and wind. And if you don't really like it, if you don't belong there, you probably wouldn't be there long.
But you belong there?
I feel like I belong there. Until this trip is over, I'm a part of it. I feel like I'm a part of it. I've come close to everything around me. And in the canoe, you are very close to it. You're so too close sometimes. You get kind of wet.
How wet do you get?
Well, just about as wet as you can get in a shower, I guess. Like when we started out in the Lewis and Clark route.
Put your hands out of your left hand.
And we made it kind of a study of the history and things of Lewis and Clark, for instance. And we were enriched by the experiences of history. But I'm living it. I'm doing what's, I guess, historical to me, at least.
Do you have any grandkids?
Yeah. You haven't let it.
Steve, how old are you?
29.
Why are you doing this?
Oh, I just enjoy paddling.
Now, I understand you're married and your wife recently had a baby. Isn't this kind of a hard life for a man with a child and a wife?
Yes, it is.
Tell me about it.
It's hard.
You got
Yeah.